Social media can be a blessing and a curse. Am I right? Now, it is the place where buzz is built, but it's also the place where time is tragically lost scrolling through endless reels, memes, and makeup tutorials. Or is that just me? If you're struggling to create engaging social media content for your studio, then this episode is just for you. Because today I'm diving into how to leverage social media not only to get more eyeballs on your account and on your posts, but to turn those people who are passive scrollers into active, engaged followers who actually book sessions and classes on the regular. Are you ready? Let's make the magic happen. Well, hi there, I'm Seran Glanfield. I'm a business and marketing strategist just for boutique fitness studio owners like you. If you're ready to be inspired and make a bigger impact, you're in the right place. All you need are a few key strategies, the right mindset, and some support along the way. Join me as I share the real-life insights that will help you grow a sustainable and profitable studio. This is the Pilates Business Podcast. Welcome back to the Pilates Business Podcast. I'm Seran, and I'm so thrilled that you've joined me here today to talk about this thing we love and hate all at the same time, and that is social media marketing. Now, when I put together topics for this podcast, I am having conversations every day of the week with studio owners all around the world. And I am always trying to share with you insights and tips and tools and tactics that I'm sharing with others, but that I think perhaps we most need to hear. And at this time of year, as we're heading into the end of the year, I know many of you are very focused on getting people into the studio and on retention and on making sure we end the year strong. At least that's what I'm focused on with the studio owners that I'm working with inside of my Thrive group coaching program. We meet every single week and we talk through what's happening in each of their businesses and troubleshoot what they are, any challenges that come up. But we're also inspiring each other with ideas for how they can continue to stay consistent with their marketing, as well as creating content that is eye-catching. And one of the things that we do inside of Thrive, or that we give to all of the members, is that we give them a lot of ideas and a lot of resources to be able to go away and implement marketing in a very, very easy way. And that includes templates and scripts and swipe files and all of those things that they can just go and copy and paste in for their own studio business. And let me tell you, it saves them a bazillion years of time, because we all know how many hats you're wearing as a studio owner. But if you are the one who is doing all of the things in your business, you are running payroll, you are coordinating schedules, you are booking clients, you're teaching clients, and you're also marketing your studio business, then I want to share, I'm so excited you're here today, because I am going to share today a lot of tips, 7 tips actually, for creating engaging and visibility boosting posts. Because we know that as much as we may not like social media for all of many reasons, that we also enjoy it as well. It is a tool that allows us to connect with many others around the world. And it has become an absolutely indispensable tool for promoting your studio business. The hardest thing, of course, is to be consistent with creating engaging content. Why is that? Well, it's because you're wearing so many hats and you have got so many things going on, and it is just so time consuming. In fact, I think that the more little ways of posting and adding different things to their to each and every post actually makes it more time consuming. Every time they add a new feature to the platforms, all of these platforms, they always take more time to create the posts, right? And that just adds more to your plate and takes more time away from the other things that you could be doing in your business, but also perhaps outside of your business. And so I want to help you to streamline your marketing efforts, especially when it comes to posting to social media. I don't think it has to be complicated. I do not think it has to be super time consuming, and I do not think it has to be overwhelming. So if you are interested in learning a bit more about how that works for you, listen to this episode and then get in touch with me, and I will show you how the systems that I help my studio owners set up when we work together. Okay. But when you are thinking about how to use social media, you are also going to be thinking about how you can use it, not just to post and then ghost, right? We don't want to just be posting on there and then leaving. We want to make sure we're posting in order to maximize visibility, in order to maximize engagement, right? And so I'm going to share with you 7 ways that you can create engaging posts, but also posts that gets your studio visibility. And when you are able to implement these strategies, you'll establish what we all want, which is a very strong online presence in the least time possible. And when I say a strong online presence, we're not here to be influencers. I mean, I'm not, maybe you are, I don't know, but I'm not here to be an influencer. And I'm guessing that you have other things that you want to do in your life too. And that means that we want to make sure that we're spending just the right amount of time and doing just the right amount of marketing that gets new clients into your studio and retains the clients that you already have for the long term. That's always the goal with our marketing, right? So where do we start? Well, number 1, oh my goodness, if you know me at all, you know I'm a planner. And the first tip I'm going to share with you is I highly recommend you utilize a content planner. Now, way back when, a while ago, I've talked about this a lot on this podcast, but way back when I had one of my Thrive members come on and share how she puts together her content plan over 90 days out. And this means that she's well on top of all of the things that she wants to share with her community, on top of events, on top of workshop promotions, on top of filling her teacher training programs, because nothing is sort of, she's not scrambling last minute. And if you can build out at least a 90-day content plan, at least with themes and topics, you are winning. Okay. So having a well-organized content calendar is 100% the key to efficient content creation. And you want to plan your posts out in advance. Ideally, you want to outline your themes, your topics, the type of content that you want to share. And then you really want to make use of all of the incredible tools and software that we have available to us at our fingertips to make the publishing process super easy. So you want to automate it with a scheduling tool, and you can use the tools inside of each platform, or you can use other tools as well. I have a few on my site that I can link to in the show notes. Doing this will not only save you time, truly it will. Investing the time up front will save you time in the long term, but it also means that your plan is consistent, your plan is aligned with your business, and it also means that you are not scrambling last minute and elevating all of that stress and all of that overwhelm in your life. Okay, so number 1 is always going to be plan. My second tip is, and it's my favorite, I think maybe planning is number 1, but close behind, is to repurpose some existing content, right? And there's a lot of reasons why I recommend this, but I don't believe you have to reinvent the wheel with every post. I think that when you create your content, whether that is for social media or in any of the other platforms that you might be marketing, you might want to be sharing the same content because that is what is most aligned with your brand. And that is what is going to be most aligned with your ideal clients. So I highly encourage you, I really do encourage you to repurpose your existing content. And that means that you're not just copying and pasting or just exactly copying everything. You are repurposing it. So you're taking content from one place and you're going to put it somewhere else. So that could look like turning an article or a blog post into a series of short tips that you can share in a carousel post or in a reel. You can transform those client testimonials that you have on your website into perhaps some eye-catching graphics, or you can even repurpose video clips from an on-demand video library and put those into a video online, right? Now, all of this allows you to maximize the value of all the content that you already have, as well as really distributing your content across different segments of your audience. So don't hesitate to do that. And a lot of times you'll find a lot of inspiration for what you should say on your social media if you go directly to your own website. Yes, that is absolutely, you heard that right. Go to your own website and use what is on your website and share that online. That is a great source of content for your social media, because what we know is that people need to hear things and see things repeatedly in order for it to sort of sink in a little bit. We are overwhelmed and over-informed with overloaded, I should say, with information from many different places. And so it takes time often for people to connect the dots. And so we want to make sure that you are highlighting to them what is most important about what you do in your studio. And usually that's what is on your website, right? So don't hesitate to repurpose some of your existing content or your existing marketing assets. Tip number 3, user-generated content. So this is another fun way that you can actually create a lot of engagement in your social media posts. And that means that you might want to encourage some of your clients to create content related to your studio. So sometimes that means sharing their testimonials, yes, but it also can mean inviting your clients to share pictures of their workouts, or you sharing pictures of your classes or your studio on your social media. Having content like this not only generates a sense of community and authenticity around your brand, but it also saves you time. You're very, 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 very fortunate. You're going to hear me say this a few times on this episode. You're very fortunate to be in a business that is very visual. And the trend for most of your clients and where they will find you is in formats that is very visual. And so people like to look at other people moving their bodies and working out, and to see inside of someone else's studio, behind the scenes. All of that is really a great way to engage and encourage engagement with your content. Okay. Number 4, I have to say, video is king right now. Or queen, I should say. Video is where it's at. And they are the most effective way to capture attention and to boost engagement. Truly, it's where most of the platforms right now are focusing all of their attention. Now, every platform will have its own sort of unique way of highlighting videos on their platform, or in different ways that you will want to sort of consider putting content in those places. But there are so many places that you could use video, and it could look like a short workout, as like I said earlier, a snapshot of a class. You could do an exercise tutorial, behind the scenes glimpses of your studio. Now, I encourage you to even experiment with using different formats like time-lapse videos or quick tips. All of this, keeping your content different, and helps to keep your clients engaged or your followers engaged and entertained. And like I said earlier, you'll want to make sure that you are optimizing your videos for each platform's specifications. So you may need to adjust the size of the video and so on, and the size of the frame, or all of that, in order to get your video to work on every platform. Now, I do want to encourage you to curate content on a regular basis. And that means that you kind of want to sort of although I don't want you to turn into I don't want you to think about yourself as an influencer. I do want you to think about where there are opportunities day to day, every day, to capture moments of the experience in your studio. And you do not have to recreate the wheel every time. I've already mentioned, you repurpose content, but also the similar styles of content you can post over and over and over again. And as long as it's relevant to your studio and relevant to the experience, and helps to showcase who you are and what you do, it's great content to share. Now, you can also share articles or quotes or infographics that would align with your values and resonate with your audience as well. Just be sure to always credit the original source, and maybe add your own unique perspective or call to action. Tip number 6. This is really, really important, especially in this day and age. And I mentioned earlier we want to avoid posting and ghosting, which means by that I mean, posting and then putting down the phone, walking away and heading to do something else. Social media is a two-way street, and increasingly these platforms are looking for engagement, and they're going to elevate those accounts and those posts that are engaged and engaging. And so you want to make sure that you are active and responding to comments, answering questions, and so on. And, this should come quite naturally to you. You're in the people business. So be genuine in this and show a genuine interest in your followers and in what they're asking you. Celebrate your clients' achievements and do that online. Share your achievements online and provide those valuable insights that you're probably already sharing in the studio with your clients. When you do this, you're building that very authentic connection with your audience and will also foster a sense of loyalty and trust and credibility, all really important things when it comes to building long-term relationships. Finally, I would encourage you to use captivating visuals and compelling copy. Okay. So you want to, of course, you've talked about it already. You want to make sure that your social media posts are visually appealing and attention grabbing. Yeah. Which means that you want to use pretty high quality images, maybe bright colors, eye-catching graphics, and you want to make sure if you're going to be taking pictures in the studio that the lighting is good and so on. Because what we're trying to do is capture people's attention as they are scrolling through their feeds or swiping through their stories or reels, right? And so you want to make sure that you are pairing the visuals with also a message that has a strong call to action in it. Right. And now not every post is going to be selling something. I don't recommend that, but I do encourage you to have messaging that is aligned with your brand and clearly communicates your value, your what you do in your studio and your brand messaging and your brand promise. And ultimately, we do want to also sprinkle in there calls to action that encourage people to go ahead and perhaps book a session, book their first session, book their next session, book that workshop, or sign up for that challenge, or invite their friends and so on. So you want to make sure that you are regularly using your the presence that you have online to bring people into your studio and encouraging them to take action. So that is quite important as well. And often we tend to want to avoid this, but it is important to sprinkle that in as well. Okay. So those are 7 tips on how to create engaging and visibility boosting posts. And when you start engaging with your audience, when you're using existing content and repurposing it and experimenting with different formats, you'll find that you are able to craft content easier and that you are able to make your content be more effective. And by more effective, I mean that it actually attracts people into your studio and helps them to go from just looking and scrolling to actually becoming an active client. All right. And so it doesn't have to be a daunting task, especially when you're planning, especially when you're using existing content or user-generated content, especially when you're thinking about, on a day-to-day, behind the scenes, how you can capture that essence of your studio. You'll find that your social media starts to work for you, because ultimately it really is a very, very powerful tool for connecting what happens inside of your studio to the rest of the world outside of your studio. Not only that, but it also helps to deepen the relationship you have with your existing clients, build brand awareness, and of course, bring new people into your studio. And when you have the right strategies in place, when you have that plan, when you have content, and when you have inspiration and you have consistency, you'll find that you can create this very vibrant online presence that really does reflect the unique offerings and personality of your boutique fitness studio. So I encourage you to embrace these tips I've shared with you today, get a little bit creative, and start adding content to your social media that captivates and inspires your amazing ideal clients. So I hope this was helpful to you as you go about building your studio business. If it was, I would invite you to go to wherever you're listening to this and rate and review this podcast. It would mean a ton to me and would help to get the podcast out into our community so that more people just like you, more teachers, more studio owners can feel encouraged on and supported on their journey in our industry.